Hi everyone, welcome. FPLMattDay here. It's game week 8 live deadline stream. I'm joined by FPL Roo, a fellow Spurs fan. He's even got his t-shirt on tonight. Absolutely buzzing to have him on here. Last time I saw FPL Roo was actually at the Fantasy Football Fest in the UK. Then before that, he was here in Melbourne, but he's now in Gold Coast. Welcome to the stream, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. Cheers for having me on. Looking forward to talking about some FPL. It's been a while since I've been on the channel, so we're not in the same city anymore. So, but yeah, we're still talking the same stuff. But I'm looking forward to the show.
No, it's buzzing to have you on, mate. It does feel like a while, and yeah, it's good to get you back on. And obviously, you're coming on tonight. I've wildcarded. You've got some transfer dilemmas, which we're going to see what the audience think of that. And then obviously, both being Spurs fans, with the first game on against Luton tonight, and there's a lot of Spurs questions. Lots of people are loving Tottenham at the moment with Big Ange and stuff. So yeah, it's good. It's good to have you on the stream, mate, for this Spurs game coming up first. But what we do, we'll bring up some comments quickly, and then we'll share the screen and go through the fixtures. Let's bring up some comments. Onto the ball. He is ready for his wild card. You're not on your wild card yet, are you, Roo?
No, I'm saving it. I probably should be looking at my team. To be honest, I've got Gordon, Botman, Estupinan, Saka, all out or flagged. So I probably should have played my wild card, but it's one of them things where I've just decided not to. So now I've got to stick with it.
Yes, sometimes it's not the worst idea, and there is an international break after this, so you never know. Like for me, for example, who's now wildcarded, I could come into game week 9 after an international break and end up with 2 or 3 injuries and think, why didn't I save the wild card? So yeah, and you've had a pretty good start this season, so we'll see how you go, mate.
It's funny you said that though, like a good start to the season, which I think I have, but I've only got one green arrow. So it just goes to show that if you have one good week, it can just change your whole season.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. And one bad week, and then you're down in the dumps for for 2 weeks with the international break. But
just that Son hat trick with Burnley.
Yeah, because you had Son that week.
Yeah, I had him. I got him early. I got him from the week before that as well.
And you had Alvarez quite early, yeah.
Yeah, Alvarez early. But yeah, hopefully they can still keep delivering.
Let's see how we go. Two Blues podcast. Welcome to the stream, mate. Onto the balls. Buzzing to see Roo on the stream. So's Christian, another fellow Spurs fan. It is a Roo day. He's back. Zada, welcome to the stream. Also got comments from Q, regular guest on the podcast. I'm sure he'll probably be back on for the next deadline stream. His 2 favorite Spurs fans. Please help me. I'm torn on Maddison versus Son with no Haaland. Is Maddison too much of a risk? What we'll do, we'll share screen now. We'll go through Luton Spurs and we'll answer that question. So if you're new here, just give the channel a subscribe. Go check out FPL Roo as well. He also does all of his YouTube content. So he's got lots of wildcard videos, team selections, shorts. So go check him out. I'll tag him in the description of this video as well once we've done the video. But you'll find Roo on my videos as well because he comments on quite a few. So go and check him out, FPL Roo, and give him a subscribe. Get your comments and questions in as well. We are just under an hour from deadline. So we'll share a screen. Let's do our favourite game of the week, hopefully. Luton versus Tottenham. So we'll share screen. We'll start off. I'll get your thoughts, Roo. What are you thinking, before we go through Q's question, what are you thinking in terms of, first of all, which are your favourite FPL players to target from either side? And we'll get your score prediction as well. And also just a couple of thoughts on what you've thought of Spurs this season as well under Big Ange.
Yeah. So yeah, first of all, the start of the season it's been a great start. Actually, exactly the same as last season under Conte. So, but we've had much harder fixtures. Played Liverpool, United, Arsenal, even Brentford away was pretty tough. So yeah, really happy with the start of the season. Loving Big Ange, especially being in Australia as well. Seeing all the Australian news about it, they're really trying to prop him up and
pump him up
over here. Yeah, like it's on the news, the national news, in the papers. So I've heard so many people say that I didn't like Spurs, but now Ange is there. I've got to start following them. So yeah, loving that, especially being over here. So happy with the start of the season, and yeah, good result against Liverpool and against Arsenal away. But I am a bit cautious because it's just the Spurs thing to do to have 2 good results, have a chance to go top of the league, albeit for probably a few hours or until Man City beat Arsenal. Or Arsenal beat Man City. So it's just like us to go to Luton and lose or a 0-0. But
So
I do
true.
think, yeah, I do think we'll win. I think we'll win 2-0. I don't think there's any Luton players that I would be bringing in. Spurs players, okay, you got Maddison and Son. Richarlison is a good option for if you're looking for a week or 2 week punt, as Solomon, Perisic, and Brennan Johnson are out. So that left side looks to be his spot for at least a game or 2. And he played really well against Liverpool as well. 6.7 million free returns this season. But I also like the look of Pedro Porro, especially
so
in this game. Yeah, I think especially in this game where I think Luton are going to be basically defending for their lives. I think it could be a bit tight, and I feel we're gonna rely on our fullbacks to try to get up there and get more numbers forward. And I think Udogie and Porro are going to be a big kind of part of that, trying to break down Luton. We saw it against Liverpool, but it was from Porro's cross that Matip scored the own goal. So I think the fullbacks are going to be big in this game, and yeah, I'm probably going for Pedro Porro if I had to pick a player to go for that wasn't obviously Son or Maddison.
No, I love it, mate. I love the analysis, and it's so true what you said about being nervous as a Spurs fan for, first game on. If we win, we go top of the league. Obviously, it'll probably only be for a few hours or a day or whatever it is until City play or but it's typical Spurs. This has happened before where they've been the early game. I remember away at Burnley under Pochettino and then ended up losing 2-1. So yeah, this is but look, it's Ange ball now. It's a new era. So we'll see how we go. A couple of questions for you, Roo. We'll start off with, well, you answered the first one. I was going to ask you Udogie or Porro, but you've said you prefer Pedro Porro, which I agree with. I think I feel like there's a goal coming in him soon with the way that he's been playing. And he's got that goal threat. But I think they're both good options. But I agree, Porro is the one that edges it. We'll get your thoughts as well before we answer Q's question. What do you think on Kulusevski as an option over these next few games? I feel like he's gone under the radar a little bit.
He has definitely gone under the radar. I don't think I've seen enough from him this season to bring him in, especially at 7 million. I'd much rather go for Richarlison. Yes, obviously everyone can banter Richarlison, but he has looked like pretty good, I'd say. Dangerous, causing a bit of chaos around the box, and so for me, I don't think Kulusevski is money well spent. I probably prefer someone like Bowen around that price, or even Richarlison. I just don't think he's going to be like selfish enough, sort of thing. I remember like a few seasons ago, even last season, the reason like we love Salah is because he's just going to shoot. If he gets in front of goal, he's going to shoot. Whereas Kulusevski, I'm not sure he's got that kind of clinical mind in him. He needs to step it up and start chipping in, I think, with more goals and assists. But for me, I'd probably prefer Richarlison around that price point.
Yeah, and you make a good point about Kulusevski not quite having that aggressive streak in him at the moment. I remember when he first joined and he was shooting from everywhere, scoring for fun, and he's kind of, since he had, I think, the injury last season, he's kind of not been the same, but hopefully he can get back to his form. So let's go to Q's question. Help me, I'm torn on Maddison versus Son with no Haaland. Is Maddison too much risk? Look, I'd say it's not too much risk because in the last, I remember there was an early kickoff against Bournemouth. Maddison was really good. He scored. He's had a couple of goals now this season, and he's always lively every game. He's on all of the set plays. For me, I don't think there's much in it between Maddison and Son as a captaincy. So yeah, I'd say I don't think there's too much risk. I think it's quite even between the two. I think they've both got opportunities to return in this game. So I don't think it's too much of a risk. Look, not having Haaland, I'd probably say like keep him if you can. But if you decided not to go with him, then fair enough. But yeah, what do you think between the Maddison and Son captaincy?
I do think it's close. I do agree. And all of Maddison's returns have come in away games as well. I don't know if that is a coincidence or it's a trend, but I'm a little bit worried about maybe Maddison. If we have to we're obviously going to have to take the game to Luton. Is he going to be trying picking up the ball from deeper? Whereas I'm a bit worried about that with Maddison, where Son, is going to be up front. I think Son will be on penalties, but we don't know yet, obviously, because we haven't had a penalty. So it could be Maddison, but I don't think there's that much in it. I'd probably go maybe 60-40. I prefer Son. But I think Maddison's a good captain option.
Yeah, I think they're both good. I think with Maddison as well, this could be the type of game potentially decided by a set play or a set piece. Maddison is due another goal in a Spurs shirt, and he's due a free kick because he hasn't scored a free kick yet for us.
Yeah. So, I know. It's nice to have someone that can take free kicks after watching Kane hit the wall for 5 years, over many years it was.
I know. Yeah. So hopefully a free kick for Maddison. Rue's gone with 2-0 Tottenham. I'm actually going to say exactly the same. I'm going to go with 2-0 or maybe 2-1. We'll bring up some more comments and then we'll go on to Burnley versus Chelsea. So we'll bring up comments onto the ball. Has wildcarded, rookie error or masterstroke. We'll soon find out. He's got Nunes, Romero, and Udogie. So he's gone with the Spurs double up. Can I see your wildcard? I'm actually going to post it on Twitter, TikTok, probably Instagram a bit later on, but I'm going to post it on TikTok just before the deadline. So I've got it ready to post. So it will be on there, mate. So go follow me on there, FPLMattDay. Christian, my plans is Eze to Neto. Seems too obvious, but can't think of anyone else to bring in. I think that's a good move, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. Eze is going to be out as well, so it's not like he's going to come back and bite you. If you can go up a bit, maybe a Ward-Prowse, but if not, I think Neto is a good pick at that sort of price range.
Yeah, I like Neto. He seems to have. Yeah. But the one thing that worries me about him is he does pick up injuries. But this season, touch wood, he's looking really fit, good to go. He's getting goal contributions in most games, and Gary O'Neill's actually got Wolves playing more attacking football. They're creating way more chances now. It's not like what they had the last couple of years where you'd watch Wolves and just want to scratch your eyes out. They're awful to watch. But now they look good. And he looks brilliant. He's that run he did against City was just unreal. He looks decent. And I think now is probably the best move if you're looking to take Eze out at that price. And Ward-Prowse, like you said. Maybe I would have said Diaby if you could do that, but there is an injury cloud over him at the moment. So interesting one. Madders for captain, bring me all the pain. Here's one for you, Rue. Romero, who's actually got a couple of goals this season, goal returns. So what do you think on this one, Romero or Udogie?
I think you've got to go for the wing back, to be honest. And with Romero, you know he's going to get yellow card. So you're a point down already. Whereas Udogie, I think he's more attacking than Romero. And and to be honest, Romero's got a penalty, got a red card in him, got a mistake in him, so I'll probably stay clear. Van der Ven, no, I don't mind for 4.5 million, so you save a bit of money as well on price. Romero. But for me, I'd go Udogie or Pedro Porro.
Yeah, no, I like that. I don't mind the Romero pick because he's found the net a couple of times, and Maddison's putting in some good balls from set plays. But I agree with Rue. I think Udogie is the better pick, or Porro if you can get one of them in. But keep getting your questions in. Me and Rue are here all the way until deadline. And we're just going through all of the games, picking our best players, answering all of your questions as well. Try and update you on any team news that comes through. So, we'll do our best. But get your questions in. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button. Go check out FPL Rue as well. His YouTube channel, FPL Rue, and he's also on Twitter and Instagram as FPL Rue. So go and check him out as well. We'll go through this question. Mbeumo and Alvarez to Son and Archer for -8. Mbeumo and Alvarez to Son. I wouldn't do that for a -8. No way.
No.
Personally, would you? I think keep Alvarez and Mbeumo this week. Man United's defence is a mess.
Yeah, and Mbeumo's got Burnley at home next week or after the international break. So
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
think
I'd
it's
keep
worth a
that. Alfred's
-8.
on flyer.
Yeah, he looks brilliant, doesn't he? And seems to be scoring or returning every game he plays, even in the Champions League. So yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I think don't do that for a -8. Let's do Burnley Chelsea now. Chelsea got their first win in a while last week at 2-0. Yeah, looking at this one, I don't mind the Cole Palmer pick at 4.9 million. If you're on a wild card and you want a fifth midfielder, I actually think he's a really good option. I think Chelsea are going to start playing him. Like Poch loves young players, loves playing those young players. He was a big signing for Chelsea, so I like Cole Palmer. Colwill, obviously, if you got him, you want to play him in this one. Loves bonus points. Sanchez, second highest scoring keeper this season, so could have a good game in this one. From Burnley, I think there's a lot of people looking at Foster as the third pick for a striker, which I like, and then Taylor in defence, and still Bayer in defence as your cheap options. So they're probably the ones that cover it off for me. But I think Chelsea will nick this one 2-1. I do think they'll concede. But Rue, what are your thoughts on the score and any players to look out for?
Yeah, it's almost a tough game. I think it will be a close game, but Chelsea do look pretty good defensively, even though they haven't done well this season. I just think their attack kind of lets them down. Specifically, Jackson. I think it was a terrible pick. I said this pre-season on a show I was on.
You did,
yeah. But yeah, so I'm not having Chelsea's attack. I'll probably go. It's a bit boring, but I'll probably go for Sanchez. I think he's done really well this season for them. He's kept clean sheets, gets a few save points as well. And yeah, if you're looking for a keeper, I think he is a good option. Their fixtures do turn pretty bad after a Burnley game, so that's just one thing to take into consideration. But I think Chelsea will win this game 1-0.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Sanchez is a good pick for this, or Colwill. But like you said, their fixtures do get difficult. So we'll see how they go in that one. Let's go to Everton, Bournemouth. There's actually a couple of players in this one I don't mind if you're on a wild card. I don't mind Garner for 4.9 mil, the midfielder. Another cheap player that you know is going to play as a fifth midfielder. Then from Bournemouth, maybe it could be the time for someone like Billing or Solanke, because Bournemouth have got some good fixtures. That's if you want to really pick differentials. And this game, I can feel goals. I think Bournemouth is going to come away and get a win in this. I'm going to go 2-1 Bournemouth. Yeah, really not liking what I see of Everton. But what are your thoughts on this one, Rue?
Yeah, no, I actually agree. I think Bournemouth have been a little bit unlucky to start the season. Their fixtures have been horrific. They've had West Ham, Liverpool, Spurs, Brentford, Chelsea, Brighton, Arsenal. That's a horrible fixture run. First 7 games, they haven't won a game this season. But I'm going to go for Solanke. He's still got 4 returns, 3 goals, 1 assist in that horrible run for a Bournemouth team as well. And their fixtures do look pretty good coming up as well. Everton away, Wolves at home, Burnley at home. So some really good fixtures. And yeah, 6.4 million. I think he'll be, even on a wild card, I think he's a good option too. I'm probably going to go 2-1 Bournemouth with this game. I just think Everton but I think they're a championship team. I looked at their lineup like a couple of weeks ago and I was like, this is a championship team.
It's shocking. It's shocking.
Yeah.
Their team. I look at Everton now and I just think you've either got to do one or two things. If you go down and you start again, or you do it now, get someone like Graham Potter in, someone that's going to change the way they want to play football, because it's only going to get worse, in my opinion, there. But if you're new to the stream, please give the channel a subscribe. Go check out FPL Rue on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram. Give him a follow and a subscribe as well. Get your questions in. We're about 40 minutes till deadline, so get all your questions in as well in the comments, and like the video as well. We're going to bring up some comments that have come up. Lexich, good to have you back in the stream, mate. He's used his wildcard because my team is in a shocking state. That's exactly why I use mine. I had Sterling, who was awful for my team. Saka, who is someone I'm going to bring back, who I think is fit this weekend, but I thought there was an injury cloud over him. I had Wissa, who was just doing nothing. He'll probably score tonight now. Rashford, who was doing nothing. He'll probably score today as well. But I just had a lot of players injured and suspended. Botman was injured, so I needed to use mine as well. Christian, more long term, but who to bring in for Udogie? Would like to bring Vicharia in after the break, so we need to drop a Spurs player for him. If you're gonna drop Udogie, If you really want to get rid of him and go with Vicario, who I think is a good keeper pick, players you could swap him for, I think maybe like Anderson at Palace or Gahey maybe. It's tough. I've also said, like, if United can improve in the next couple of weeks, they actually have some good fixtures. Sheffield United, I think they've got Luton, Everton. Someone like Dalot could be someone to look at, which a few people have mentioned online. But is there anyone that you think maybe Rue as a replacement for Udogie, which, if you were looking to sell him?
Yeah, I was going to say the same, Mark. The only thing is that he does have some tough fixtures coming up, but in that he's got Forest at home, Newcastle away, Spurs at home. So Spurs and Newcastle tough games, but then they've got Burnley, Everton, Luton, West Ham, and then Bournemouth. So some really good fixtures coming up for Palace. If you can kind of rotate him with another defender, so he doesn't have to pay the Spurs and Newcastle games, and I think is a good option. I've bought him in this week for a Stupinan. So I like the look of him.
Yeah, he's always solid, and whenever Palace do get a clean sheet, he tends to be on the bonus because he does win the ball well, and he's good on the ball as well. So I'm liking him, and I'm liking Anderson as well. Let's go to Fulham versus Sheffield United. Onto the ball quickly. Just said yes, Rue. Everton are going down. Yeah, he's happy as he is a Liverpool fan. Let's do Fulham Sheffield United. For me, I think you really only want to target Archer, probably from Sheffield United as a third striker. Fulham, I like Ream and Castagna for this game week. The defenders both got lots of potential. I like Leno as well. I think Fulham will win this. I'm going to go 1-0, tight game. Leno will probably get 10 save points, and I'll regret not putting him in my wildcard team. So 1-0. What are your thoughts on this one, Rue?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a tough but boring game, really. Fulham started the season a bit mixed, but I like Castagna, so 4.5 million. Mm-hmm. We saw how attacking he can be when he was at Leicester last year, and Fulham have been pretty good defensively this season. I think no team has been great, but I'm pretty sure they've had a couple clean sheets. So they've had 3 clean sheets. So yeah, that's the top out of probably any other team. I think Edison's or City have got 3 clean sheets, but I'd go for Castagna, 4.5 million.
Yeah, he's good, really, and he's attacking as well, and he's always got. We saw when he was at Leicester, like he has a goal in him sometimes.
Yeah. So, I had him for his haul. I think he got 2 goals towards the end of last season. I'm pretty sure he got a massive score for me.
Yeah, he's decent. Yeah. Could add him to the wild card now. Problem is having a player like that in a wild card. As good as I think, if you're one of those managers that's using a free hit for this game week, definitely get him in. Yeah. But for me, like if I'm going to put him in on a wild card now for one of my 3.9 million defenders, I'm keeping that spare change to bring Saka back in a few weeks. I just don't want to mess up the plan. But I'll probably be kicking myself later when Castagna gets one of the 2-goal hauls like he got for Rue last season. So we'll see how we go. Let's do United Brentford. This is a big game for FPL because United lost again in the week, but they did score 2 goals. Defensively, they look woeful. The keeper is just abysmal so far this season. Abysmal. It's been a terrible pick for FPL. Brentford have actually struggled. I don't think they've won a game, have they? Have they won a game this season?
No, I don't think they have. No.
They've been not won a game.
I think they've lost their last 4, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, like they're really... they beat Fulham in game week 2, actually, because I remember there was a big haul from Wissa and Mbeumo.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think I put Wissa in after, and he was... he did nothing.
It's not like they've been tough games. It's not. They've drew to Palace at home, Bournemouth at home, lost to Everton at home, and drew to Forest away. So it's not the hardest games either.
No, they've really struggled. So yeah, it's a difficult one for Brentford. United, if they've got to get someone out of this game at home, like they can't lose again or they can't drop points again. For me, I think it's tough. If you're not on a wild card and you've got Bruno Fernandes and you've got Rashford, you play them and you might get some points out of them. The one pick for me, though, in this game is Baby Haaland, I call him. It's Højlund. Baby Haaland. He just looks brilliant. And I think regardless of the way United have been playing or the results have been getting, he still looks a real big threat. They're still scoring goals. So he's in my team. I'm really liking him. Then they've got Sheffield United next week, after the break. Then they got Man City, and then they've got, I think, Everton and Luton. So they've got good fixtures. So for me, I'm really liking that pick against, Brentford team that, like Rue just mentioned, aren't on form. So I'm going to back United to win this, but I think it will be nervy, 2-1, and I think Højlund will score. The baby Haaland will score the winning goal in this one. It'll be 2-1. But what are your thoughts on any picks for this one, Rue?
Yeah, it's kind of two teams that are not in form, so it's going to be I think it'll be a tight game, but I think Man United have got to win, and I would have probably gone for the same pick as you. Andy said it, Højlund?
Yeah, just call
Is
him
it
Baby
Højlund?
Haaland, mate. That's what I've been
Baby
calling him.
Haaland, yeah. But I'm going to go for Bruno.
Yeah,
for a little penalty. I think he's got a few returns this season, only 2 goals, 1 assist. But yeah, I fancy him to get a little penalty this game. Maybe, yeah, I think a 1-0 win. I can't see both teams doing that great, to be honest. But I think a penalty to Man United and they get over the line.
yeah. Fernandes loves a penalty when United need a result. They love getting a penalty when they need a result at Old Trafford. So yeah, good analysis there by Brew. Let's bring up some comments. Be sure to get your comments in as well. Any questions? We're half an hour till deadline. I know there's a lot of people still stuck on their wild cards or their transfers. So get them in. Alexich has asked, is Neto a good shout? Because the fixtures are there and it enables me to have Son, Salah and Madders on a wild card with some money in the bank, and then get Saka in the future. Yeah, we were mentioning Neto earlier. Like, we think he's a great pick at the moment, as long as he can stay fit. And he is looking like really sharp this season. He's returned in all games but one, I believe. So I like that pick. Good fixtures. Bournemouth away next week as well. Newcastle home in 10, and then I think they get Sheffield United in game week 11. So, yeah, I think he's a good pick. What do you think on that one, Rue?
No, same, yeah. And with these players, I think we all just got to be a little bit kind of patient and mindful that they are really cheap. And if they don't deliver, it's fine. If they deliver once in every 3 games, that's still okay, because they're just letting you get the big guns in.
Exactly,
which is the main thing. So just stay. If you're going to go for him, just stay patient and hopefully he gets a few returns.
No, I like that. Stick to the plan. We'll bring up all the questions that come in now. We'll start to bring up questions as we know we're getting close to the deadline, so we want to help people out. Bench 1, Diaby, Burn, or Gahey. That is tough. What do you reckon on that one, mate?
I think I'd bench Burn.
Burn?
Yeah, I think I would, because I think Gahey's got a really good fixture, Forest at home, and then I think Burn's got West Ham
away,
which is a tough game. I fancy West Ham to do well in that game. So yeah, I'd probably bench Burn.
I'd say, looking at it, Diaby still feels like we're not 100% sure if he's going to start, but if he does, you don't want to miss out on him starting, because there's a chance he returns, because he is a midfielder, but he's basically playing as a striker for Villa. And then, like Rue said with Gahey, decent enough fixture at home. If they keep a clean sheet, he'll probably more than likely get bonus. And then Burn, expecting West Ham to score. They've scored in every game this season. The one thing with Burn, he did score on the week against PSG. Loves a, is he going to get his 6'7" head on a free kick? But if you're picking one out of the 3, yeah, I'd say Burn as well. Adrian Still, welcome to the stream, mate. Just seeing your comment here. FPL Primetime, fight my app here. Apologies for the accent we send just now. Subscribe, like and following. Legend, mate. And I think I mentioned it on Twitter as well. Go check out FPL Rue on YouTube as well. Give him a sub. I think you followed him on Twitter as well. So welcome to the stream, mate. I think he's also a fellow Spurs fan, which is awesome. FPL Boo Boo, welcome to the stream, mate. Saka to Son, Mbeumo to Kulu, and Estupinan to Castagne for a -4. I actually don't mind that for a minus. Oh, I don't mind that for a -4. At the same time, if you have to, if you can avoid the Mbeumo to Kulu one and just do Estupinan to Castagne and Saka to Son, I think that's probably fine. I don't know if he needs to do Kulusevski this week.
No, because he'll be more than Mbeumo, so it's not for the money.
Mm.
Yeah, I'd probably not take the -4 and do Saka to Son and Estepin to Castagna, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to go. Random,
Yeah.
just LOL. I think we just sort of what a cool name that was, FPL Boo Boo. What a name! What a name! What a name! WB has asked, will Sterling start this week? Well, I thought he was going to start last week, so honestly, I can't say yes or no. I'm going to say no. I reckon Chelsea would try and go unchanged. What do you reckon, Rue?
It's a tough one because they've just won a game. But I think he will start. I think even when they were doing bad, he was like the brightest spark in the team, and apparently I think he was only ill, or he wasn't actually like injured last week. He was a bit ill, so that's why I think he was on the bench.
Okay.
Okay.
How annoying.
I think he will start, but yeah, don't rely on Sterling.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. Yeah. Anytime, here to help. So keep getting your questions in. Got a couple more that come in. So Christian is tempted. Wissa to Hoyland or Bank, mate. I would do that every day of the week. It's time to let Wissa go. I think Højlund in that game. If you're going to back a striker in that game, you're backing Højlund.
And also, if you're doing that move, your team must be good because your team must be good if you're using your free transfer on that move. If you look at my team, I'm just trying to fight fires and get out these suspended or
you're just trying to get 11 players on the pitch.
Yeah, I literally am. So you're looking good no matter what, if you bank it or even if you do that move.
Awesome. Zarda's just asked, can you look at my wildcard in your Twitter comment? All right, I'll bring it up. Let's see if I can find it on my Twitter comment. And we'll rate his wildcard team. All right, so let's find it. Here it is. Okay. So the wild card, he's got goalkeepers, Turner and Areola. I'd say that's a pretty solid choice. I think that's pretty good. I can't really fault that. What do you reckon, Rue?
Yeah. Oh, that's what I would be going for.
And then a back five, he's got Cash, Byrne, Gahey, Taylor from Burnley. And then he's gone Romero, which he's got 0.5 in the bank. I'd probably say if he could maybe try and upgrade Romero to Udogie or Porro.
Yeah, I agree.
Other than that, the rest.
Unless you want to go for a differential, then fine. But yeah, definitely. And you're saving money, I think, by going maybe not by going for fullbacks. So even if you go Van der Ven, you'll save a bit of money.
Yeah, Van der Ven's not a bad shout. And then he's got a midfield of Salah, Son, Ward-Prowse, Neto, and Maddison. Again, I think that's pretty good. Like again, Ward-Prowse is a good kind of differential type of pick right now, so I like that.
Yeah.
And then strikers, he's got Mubama as a sort of cheap striker, Haaland and Watkins. I'd probably say if he could, maybe he's saving the money. I think he sort of said to try and get Saka back at some point, maybe, but because he's got 0.5 in the bank just to keep. I'd say if he could go maybe Archer to Mubama, but I think that team's good. I think it's strong.
Yeah, no, it looks good. I'd probably say the same. Yeah, try and go for a playing sub because you're not going to play your next wildcard for another 10, 15, maybe even 20 game weeks. So try and have a player that's playing if you can.
Yeah, I think so. See if you because it's a wild card. Try and build up the squad a little bit more if you can. No way Dan Burn will score back to back. Yeah, actually, because he scored against Sheffield United as well, didn't he? Christian, I've been ridiculously lucky with injuries so far. Me, as a SG, have been my only 3 players out all season. So, yeah, that's very good to hear, mate. And any time. So, everyone, continue to get your questions in. 25 minutes till deadline. I'm also checking in the background to see if there's any team updates or team news. I want to make sure that we don't miss it whilst we're on the stream. Let's do Palace Forest. Score prediction, Rue, and sort of your players to look out for in this fixture.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Gay. I brought him in and I thought, why not? Bonus points. This game, so Eze's out now. I don't think Palace have got a lot of attacking options, to be honest. If I was going to go Forest player, I like the look of Aurier, as you've always got that attacking
Serge
threat.
Aurier's a throwback.
Yeah, but I'm probably going to go 0-0. I think both teams kind of lack going forward, so I'm going to go for a 0-0, especially now that Eze's out. I think Roy Hodgson will start being a bit strategic with just grinding out results, maybe taking a 0-0 here and there, trying to get as many points on the board without. I think Edouard's injured, Eze's injured, they've lost Zaha, Elise's injured. So I think they're really struggling in the forward line, which they do anyway, Palace. Like, for as long as I remember, they've never really had a good striker. So since Benteke.
Yeah, you're right, mate. They've got so many injuries. It's a tough one. I reckon Forest will grind it. I reckon Forest are going to get the 1-0 win. I like that forward. Awoniyi?
Oh, yeah.
He's returned quite a lot this season. If you sign him now, you get Luton out of him next week as well. And he tends to return quite a bit. So I actually like him as a third striker pick. He's quite fixture proof. Serge Aurier is a throwback as well. Loves getting on the bonus points. So I'll go 1-0 Forest. Palace, I like Gahey though, and Anderson has obviously shown a goal threat. Goalkeepers, Johnston is an interesting one because they've got some good fixtures coming up, Palace. And Johnston's not a bad shout as a keeper. But with Forest, do you think Turner's going to keep his place this week?
To be honest, he had a stinker last week, didn't he? Was it against Brentford? I think it's touch and go, but I feel like he will keep his place until at least after the international break. I think there's no point bringing a new keeper in now and then they go away for 2 weeks. So I think you've got one more game week left in him, and I think his days are numbered, definitely, because I did bring in a new keeper. But,
and he's a good keeper
I think
as well.
Got one more week.
Ex-Benfica or Greece number one or something. And his Turner's looked very, very shaky last week, but we'll see what happens there. We'll go through Brighton, Liverpool in a second. We'll bring up the comments that come in. Mark, welcome to the stream, mate. I'm on a wild card and have all of the usual suspects. And Adrian brought him to the podcast, which is awesome. Thanks for that, mate. Usual suspects: Trippier, Cash, and Porro. Yeah, I like all of those. I've got Cash and Porro. I don't have Trippier, which I am gutted about because when Trippier's on this form, he's like we saw it last season. It just continues. Even if Newcastle don't keep clean sheets, he grinds out assists. He's very, very good FPL player to have at the moment for Newcastle. And I'm very nervous about not having Trippier. Is Trippier someone you're considering, Rue? Have you got him?
No, I don't have him. No, I went Botman instead. So I'm left with no Newcastle defender. But no, Trippier does look good. I think he's got 3 assists in his last 3 now, and he got that massive haul against who did they batter? Was it Sheffield
United and Burnley got 12 points.
But for me, I think it's too much money. Like you can go Dan Burn and save 2 million. Yes, Trippier is the better option, but you're saving 2 million, and I think that could be used nowadays to upgrade the midfield.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think with Trippier, I just get worried that he could end up keeping these hauls and doing these big, massive like when Reece James had those massive back-to-back scores, and it just kept happening. I feel like you never know, the Trippier train could just keep going on and on and on. Mark's also got Son, Madison, Salah, Haaland, Watkins. One thing I'm noticing about a lot of these wild cards is they're all very, very similar, and I feel like we're going to end up seeing so many people with the exact same team. Mark is torn between Almiron and Palmer on the eye test for a couple of weeks. Going safe with Villa cover and Neto. Any thoughts? I actually really like Almiron. 2 returns in 2. Really good goal against PSG in the Champions League as well. And we saw last season, how good he is when he gets some momentum. So I think you've still got to pick like at least 2-3 differentials in your team to enjoy the game and just to have a different side. And Almiron is someone I like, and Palmer's someone I like as an extra midfielder. And we also like Neto as well. But what are your thoughts on this one? Rui?
Yeah, I agree. I remember when I was bringing in Gordon, I think a Newcastle fan said to me on Twitter, just whatever you do, don't bring in Almiron. But since then, he's done pretty well. I think he scored 3 and 3. I like the look of him, and for that price as well, I think he's pretty cheap. Is he around 6 million or even
6'3".
less?
I think he's got 6'3", 6'4". He'd gone down because he'd missed a few games, and then he's had a couple of back-to-back double-digit scores.
Yeah, no, I do like the look of him. I think Palmer's probably a bit too risky, but definitely for the future, if he keeps his place, we know how good he is, even in like the cameos at City. So the only thing is, I probably prefer Newcastle attack to Chelsea. So for that reason, I'll probably go Almiron if you can. But yeah, it's worth keeping an eye on.
Yeah, I don't mind that either. Harriet, welcome to the stream. It looks like it's got a kangaroo ready for FPL which is cool. Christian, last question. Who to drop if I bought in Højlund, Neto, Son, Maddison, Foden, Matoma, Alvarez, Haaland? I'd drop... probably drop Matoma this week. Or Foden. No, I'd drop Matoma this week if I was doing that. I'll drop Matoma from that.
Yeah. No, it's a tough game.
Same?
I would do the same. I'd go I'd drop Foden, I think.
Foden?
I think that's a tough game, yeah. I think there's going to be goals in the Brighton-Liverpool game, even though Liverpool looked okay defensively, but I think there will be goals in that.
Yeah, it's got potential to be an end-to-end match. Yeah, so Rui's gone Foden. I'll say Matoma. I like, if I've got City players, I like to play them. But let's do Brighton-Liverpool now. Let's go through that one. I think this is interesting because Brighton pretty much played their strongest team available in the Europa League away at Marseille in a 2-2 draw. Liverpool were able to make changes, make early subs. Brighton are coming off the back of a 6-1 defeat against Villa as well. 6-1. That's a hammering. Like, no Premier League team should be conceding 6 goals. I think there's a lot of potential for Liverpool to come out attacking wise and winning this 3 or 4-1, which might sound crazy because we know how good Brighton are, but I always said I thought the Europa League was going to drain this Brighton squad a little bit. And I can see Darwin Núñez, Luis Diaz, Salah having good weeks. And they're obviously going to be very upset after last week's.
They're still crying.
They're still going on about last week's, ghost goal or ghost offside or whatever we want to call it. And I think they're going to come out and actually they're going to come out and score goals. I want to go 3-1 or 4-2 sort of thing to Liverpool. I think Luis Diaz is a really good pick. He did look good last week. And I think obviously if that goal had counted, we'll be seeing him in a lot more teams this week. And then from a Brighton perspective, their time will come again. I think if you can get Lamptey in on a wild card with the Estupiñán injury, do it and bench him. But yeah, I wouldn't rely on the Brighton assets as much this week. But what do you reckon, Rue? Maybe I'm being a bit harsh on Brighton, but 6-1's a big score.
Yeah, I think it is they did get thumped, but I think they have these throughout the season where they just get battered by someone. Surely they can't get battered again, even though it's like it's all pointed towards Liverpool getting a bit angry and thrashing them. But I'll probably go for like a high scoring game as well, 3-2 Liverpool. And you never know, Liverpool could get a player sent off. They seem to get one sent off every game. So I'll go 3-2 Liverpool, and I think Darwin is the pick this week. Salah looks good, but I feel like Salah's become more of a creator now. I feel like he's assist star, and yes, he still scores, but I think Darwin's going to get a brace this week.
Yeah, no, that's a good point about Salah. He seems to be picking up points, but a lot more of the assists, and he's yet to really get up and running with his goals like in previous seasons for FPL. If it does happen on this run, he's going to be an incredible asset again, and he could look to rival Haaland with captaincy, and obviously Son, who's been good. That's Brighton Liverpool. We'll do West Ham Newcastle in a sec. With 15 minutes till deadline, so if you're new here, get your comments in. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. Like the video and go and check out FPL Rue on Twitter, Instagram. He's also on YouTube, so you can find him on there. I'm going to tag him in this video afterwards as well. We'll bring up the other comments. Two Blues podcast. He's late, but he's here. Welcome to the stream, mate. Hope you're doing well. Mark, 100% on the enjoyment factor. I like watching them play, and I feel you've got to cover ownership with a lot of key players. That's exactly it. I think if you can cover 4 or 5 of the key players, then just enjoy it with the rest of the games. Hello to Rue from Two Blues. And Palmer is in. Palmer is in. I think he's up the Chelsea's what he said. And Palmer is in. To be fair, I did do a little post about Palmer on Twitter, but I tagged Two Blues podcast in because he actually did sell me on Palmer on a couple of his shorts, and he spoke about it in to me in a message. So I've got to give credit to Two Blues podcast if Palmer does well, because he did find him for me. Rue in the comments there. Two Blues has gone for Diaz for my differentials this week. Creeps in at 9.6%. And Liverpool out for blood. Yeah, I think Diaz is a good pick this week, Rue.
Yeah, I do like
He's
him. The
always so
only thing
sharp.
with him, I just don't know if he's clinical enough. That's the only thing that worries me with him.
I know what you mean.
So obviously, he took that goal, great, but I don't know if it's like the Kulusevski thing. I don't know if he's going to be I like to pick like the main men in teams as well. But I think he's a good option for the price as well. Is he 7.6?
Yeah, things around that. He might have gone up. Everyone seems to have price rise within the last day, and it's ridiculous.
I'd probably go. I'd go for him. Why not?
Yeah, do it.
Can't afford Salah.
I think, like you said, because Salah is making a lot more of the assists. If you're gonna you want to think of the other goal threats, and Luis Diaz is one of them. So yeah, I'm not minding that. Brighton haven't kept a clean sheet yet, and they got stumped last week, and no Estupinan. That's another good point. Like, if they haven't kept a clean sheet and stuff, like they're the team to target players against them. Nathan, Palmer, Neto, Lascelles, Haaland, or Trippier, or Trippier, Odegaard, Bowen, DCL, or
DCL's a bit rough for me.
Yeah, DCL's rough. Get rid of him.
Yeah.
Look, I'd probably try and hybrid this a bit and go Bowen, Trippier, Haaland, and Neto if you can. But if that doesn't work, Lascelles, Bowen, Trippier, and Neto. It's hard. If I had to pick between the first or the second lot, I'd probably say the first, because you get a Newcastle defender for this week. Haaland still in there. Neto. Palmer, I think, is going to get a start and could produce against Burnley. On the other side, I like Trippier. I like Bowen. Odegaard, I'll probably like again in a few weeks. But yeah, DCL's don't even. I know he's got the Bournemouth game. Who knows? He might get the start, but he just can't be bothered with Everton players in FPL.
No, don't put Everton players, mate. No, that's a straight no from me. So go to the first one.
Yeah.
You're not leaving out Haaland to get DCL on your team.
Nah, no chance. Two shot Lascelles as a differential is going on my gravestone if he's back in the starting lineup today. Lascelles I think will play with the injuries Newcastle have got, and you never know, he might thump in a bullet header. We'll quickly what we'll do, because we're not gonna. I think because we're 11 minutes till deadline, we'd rather bring up all the comments and the questions. So get all your questions in now. We'll just quickly recap the last 3 games very quickly. West Ham, Newcastle. I'm going to go 1-1 draw. Target Bowen, Areola, and probably Trippier and Burn from Newcastle and Almiron. Anyone I've missed there, and what's your score prediction?
No, I'd probably go. Yeah, I'd probably go same 1-1. I think it'll be a tight game. Kufau, I like the look of as well.
The fullback,
West Ham defender. Yeah, he's got 3 assists in his last 3. So
yeah, good pick. So if you're looking for that extra defender, Wolves Villa, Neto, love that pick from Wolves. Probably wouldn't look at anyone else from Wolves. Villa, Ollie Watkins, Cash. I like Martinez, the keeper. He's going under the radar, but obviously he's a bit pricier, and there's other Villa players. Diaby, look, I think if you've got him, play him. And again, I'm going to go with I want to go 2-2. I reckon Wolves are going to grind a draw out, and there's going to be goals. What do you reckon on this one, Rue?
I think 2-1 Villa. And I like, Matt Cash or Luca Digne. Because I think he's going to keep his spot. I think Moreno's still injured. So, if you want to go for someone different, maybe Luca Digne.
Do you like
Yeah.
Watkins as well?
He doesn't take penalties, and for me, he's a bit too expensive. I think he's a good option, but not for this game. I think we're a bit over the top on him because he got
Recency
5
bias.
returns last time out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. If you're going to keep him for the whole season, I think he's a great pick. But if I'm just picking a one-off game, I'm not too sure.
I know what you mean. I think he's the type of striker that will probably find at least 15 Premier League goals. His numbers will look good at the end of the season for FPL, but yeah, you've got to be very pick and choosy with his games because he can just randomly disappear in FPL. We will go and we'll do the Arsenal Man City game, and then we'll bring up all the other comments. I'm going to say I think City are going to come back firing. I think they'll win this game. Arsenal were really poor against Lens in the week, but they were good against Bournemouth last week. But I just feel like City are going to come up firing. That's probably a bit of Spurs bias on this stream from me and Rue, but I can see Haaland coming out with a couple of goals and absolutely firing in this. I'm going to go 3-1 to City. They're gonna. I just feel like they're gonna win, but huge game for Arsenal. So keep Haaland, keep Alvarez, keep Saka. I think Saka will play, and they're probably the three for me. What are your thoughts on this one, Rue?
Yeah, I think 2-1 City, and I just like Alvarez. I think he's
quality,
looking really good, like really good at the moment. On set pieces as well. He scored that banger last week, free kick. So yeah, I'll go for Alvarez 2-1 City.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm really liking that Alvarez pick as well. But what we'll do now, we have gone through all the fixtures and our favourite players for the game week. We'll start to bring up all of the comments. Before I do, I'm just doing a quick Twitter sweep or X sweep, whatever you want to call it, just to make sure there isn't any last-minute injury news or team news that comes up. And
I'll put a question to the chat while you're doing that. So I've still got one transfer to make. I can go Saka to Salah, or I can go Anthony Gordon to Maddison. So if I do the Salah move, I'll have to play Kabore. If not, then I'll play obviously Saka and Maddison. So let me know. Saka, Maddison, or Salah, Kabore is basically the option.
See, on paper, we'll see what people say in the comments. On paper, Saka and Maddison sound a lot better than Salah and Kabore. But let's see what everyone says in the comments. And I couldn't find any sort of team news or anything to suggest there's going to be any surprises in the team news between Luton and Spurs. So let's bring up all the other comments. 2 Blues, Diaz is 7.5 mil. Jota's out, so he's a good starter. Onto the Ball's got Diaz as part of his wild card. Thomas, West Ham will beat Newcastle. Kudus masterclass. Kudus is someone that could go under the radar, actually.
I think he started up front
this
in
next
Europe.
comment. So we'll go on to it in a second. Kudus is someone we've got to keep an eye on.
Yeah, he started up front in Europe, I think.
Yeah, he did. So it's one to look out for. I was just laughing at this comment about TCL. Is rough. He was good a few years ago in FPL, but I've had some horror shows with Calvert-Lewin in FPL the last couple of years. Let's talk about captains. Who's your captain? Who are you thinking? Who's your captain this week? I'm going to just stick with Son for this game.
Yeah, same. Son. I do want to bring in Salah just to captain him, but I think I'm probably going to do I don't know what I'm going to do yet. 5 minutes left, but I'm going to captain Son.
I'll do Son. And we got it as Spurs fans, Luton away.
Yeah.
Even though we know
it's at a good time for us here in Australia as well. We can watch it live, 9:30 or 10:30 p.m. for you.
Yeah, we can watch it live. We know Spurs are cursed usually, and these are the types of games we lose. So hopefully it doesn't happen tonight. Zada's asked, Haaland captain or Son? Well, we've both got Haaland and Son, and we've gone Son, so we'll say do Son. Who was a better captain, Salah or Son? I'll let you answer this one, Rue.
I think Salah. I know I'm going for Son, and if I don't have Salah, but if I did have Salah, I think I would go for Salah. To be honest,
that's fair.
Just the guaranteed penalties, guaranteed 90 minutes. If
true.
we're 2-3-0 up, Son normally comes off early, so I'd probably go Salah.
No, that's true. Looking at the fixtures, Son is better, but Salah is Salah. Nathan just saying DCL can go into jail. Pedro next week. You watch him score a hat-trick versus Bournemouth now. You never know. You never know. It probably. Curse of the commentators. Ethan Cobb, how much should I have in my back with a wild card? I think he might mean bank. It would all depend on what your team value is.
Yeah.
Should be what your team value
I
is.
think
Normally
just
you get
make
100
your best
million.
team.
And then, how much you should have left over in the bank.
Yeah.
What Rue said. Make the best team you possibly can that you see fit. If you've got anything left, then great. And don't worry if you've got money left, or even if you don't. And just pick what you think is the best team. Thanks for the support, Two Blues. Top stream as always, lads. Thanks for the tips. Is Lamptey, I think he means Lamptey, is he playing? He played left back and played the whole game in Europe. What I'll say with De Zerbi, you never know what team he's going to play. He's a bit of a wish version of Pep sometimes, where he just makes loads of changes. He makes 5 or 6 changes. You just never know. But I'd say for 3.9 million, you can't go wrong on a wild card, can you?
No, I think on a wild card, fair enough, but I wouldn't be transferring him in. I think De Zerbi say something that he's got to be managed a bit, as he hasn't really played midweek and then weekend, and he gets injured anyway. So on wild card, I'd take the risk.
Yeah, I think for a wild card, I've got him in mind just on the bench with Taylor. I've gone with cheap assets. FPL Roo, who's obviously on the stream, has asked, for the audience that are watching, who would you pick, Saka and Maddison or Salah and Kabore? FPL Roo's got 4 minutes to decide. So
I've done it. I've just done Gordon to Maddison.
He's done Gordon Maddison. I think that's a good pick. You got to back your Spurs, boys.
Spurs are going to do. Yeah, Spurs are going to.
Nathan said Saka Maddison, and I think if you look at it right, and you're picking 2 players, Salah and Kabore or Maddison and Saka. Saka and Maddison combined points. Even if Salah got 10 points, you'd expect Saka and Maddison to be better anyway.
I'm just worried about Saka not starting, but even if he doesn't, I think Maddison will deliver. Yeah,
no, I think he starts, mate. Arteta's notorious for just fibbing all the time, so I reckon Saka will play. Another one from Rue. He's asked Nana or Turner. So if you let us know what you think in the chat. Look, I actually owned Nana last week before my wild card and Turner, and I was going to play Nana because of Brentford's awful form. But then the Champions League happened, and Nana dropped another clanger, and I was like, "It's tough. It's tough." Yeah, what's the audience think? You got 3 minutes to decide. I'd probably say,
let me know in the comments.
A mate of mine always said, if you've got goalkeepers, play your most expensive, play the one that you've put the money into, who you see as your number one. But it's tricky because
he's at home.
He's at home. Yeah, that's the other thing. But if you're new to the channel, subscribe. 2 minutes till deadline. Get your questions in as well in the next 2 minutes. Give the video a like. Who to bench out of Trent, Cash, Udogie, and Trippier? Oh, that's tough. That is tough. Oh my god. Oh, I'm just going to say a name, and I'm going to say, I'll say Trent this week. I'll say Trippier this week with the West Ham game. I think
I'm benching Cash.
Actually, go Cash away at Wolves and hope that Wolves score and Cash does something. I'll go Cash because I think Trent, Udogie, and Trippier have too much attacking upside in comparison to a Cash. So I'd say Cash. Trent could be huge this week. Trent could be huge.
I like the look of Trent.
We're a minute away from deadline. I've done my wild card. Well, Barney's just said, cheers, lads. He'll do that. I've done my wild card. Might as well read it out now. Rue's seen it. Turner, Burn, Cash, Pedro Porro, Maddison, Neto, Salah, and Son. Haaland, Watkins, Baby Haaland, which is Højlund. And then Areola, Lamptey, Taylor. I've actually got a Chelsea player. So if Two Blues is still watching, I've got Chukwuemeka, who played your first game and your second game. So if he's fit, let me know in the comments, mate, if you think he'll get back in the Chelsea lineup. Because, for 4.3 million, I just sort of put him in there as some sort of bench fodder. The one player I'm a bit gutted about missing is Bowen. But I was kind of I feel like these next 2 games could be quite tough, even though he's fixture proof. So I thought I'll bring him in at a later date if I need to be on Bowen.
Their fixtures don't look amazing until I think 10, is it?
Yeah, 10. So I've obviously gambled on Højlund, but I just looked at it and thought, see how he goes in this Brentford. game who look awful at the moment. Brentford, I know United do as well, but then Sheffield United. And then if I need to in game week 10, I can just swap him straight for Darwin Núñez. This is probably the week for Darwin Núñez because he'll get the minutes. But we'll see. Deadline has passed. Deadline is now passed. So hopefully everyone's decisions work out. Hopefully everyone who's on a wild card like me actually gets a green arrow. Haven't had a green arrow in a long time. So I'm hoping for one. Like Ruse just said, good luck for the game week, everyone. Yeah. What are your let's do some predictions for the game week, Rue. Who do you think is going to be the highest scoring player?
I think it's going to be Darwin. I really like the look of him for this week. And you know what? A lot of people are kind of a bit scarred from last season where they brought him in and he kept missing chances and chances. I brought him in once before the World Cup and he scored a brace in that game right before
I had him in that one.
them free transfers. Yeah. So I do like Darwin. And I could have gone Mubama to Darwin as one of my moves because I did have the spare money. But it just left me with a headache for the benching headache next week. And then it was just like going to mess up my whole team by going 3 up front. So when I'm not planned for it, so I just left it. Yeah, I just ended up going for Maddison and Gay. But yeah, I think Darwin. What about you?
Yeah, Darwin's a really good alternative kind of captain pick this week. Yeah, now you're making me worried that I've picked Baby Haaland instead of him. I'm a little bit nervous now. Man United to come out and have another like toothless 1-0 defeat at home, and Darwin's going to get a hat trick.
Mate, they've got 2 good fixtures, United. So if they're ever going to turn it around, it's going to be in these 2. Brentford haven't won a game since game week 2, and then Sheffield United look terrible. So
yeah,
surely
it's got to be now. It has to for United. If it's not now, if they don't get results in the next 2, a couple of defeats or a draw and a defeat, there's got to be questions for Ten Hag in the way that United have started because it's abysmal. And I was reading it's the first time I think Galatasaray have won on English soil against and it was under Ten Hag. The first time Man United have lost back-to-back Champions League games, Ten Hag. And there was quite a few other stats which are just crazy. So he needs to win these next 2. Who do I think is going to be the highest scoring player this game week? I want to back Pedro Porro. I think Porro will score and Spurs will keep a clean sheet. And hopefully we'll win the game by a couple of goals to nil like we mentioned earlier. But look, we'll look to wrap up the stream now. It's been a really good deadline stream tonight. Thanks to everyone that tuned in, to the new watchers that tuned in as well. Really appreciate the support. Subscribe if you haven't done. Check out FPL as well on Twitter, Instagram. He's also on YouTube. So you can find his channel in my description of this video, which I'm going to put up straight after this video finishes. So go and check him out, FPL. Good luck, everyone, for game week 8. Like I mentioned, if you're on wildcards and stuff as well. Any last comments before we quickly wrap up the stream, Rue? I think we've covered it all.
Thanks for having me on. It's been great fun, and good luck for the game week, everyone. And come on, you Spurs.
Yeah, come on, you Spurs. Hopefully we win. Hopefully we actually don't mess up an opportunity, which it wouldn't be the first time if we lost. But yeah, it's been great to have Rue on. It's been a while. We both went away, and Rue's moved to a different state in Australia. So it's great to have him back on now, and hopefully it'll be more of a regular occurrence. I'll probably go onto his channel as well, and we'll do some videos. So check out for that. But let's leave it there. FPL Rue, I'm FPLMattDay. And we'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.